Hugs, handshakes, an electric car ride. Modi-Putin bonhomie on display. Big nuke power boost for India. Modi-Putin hug upsets Zelensky and West. Hugging war criminal jibe at Modi. Modi-Moscow power play.
The Indian Prime Minister has hugged a lot of leaders. It's part of his style, it's part of his brand, it's part of how he demonstrates diplomatic affection and sends out a message of bonhomie. But I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think there's ever been a hug that has sent out the number of global shockwaves as the embrace of Modi and Putin in Moscow last evening. Modi and Putin's camaraderie has taken center stage, and rightfully so, as the Prime Minister is in Russia for the 6th time. From warm embraces to strategic talks and even a spin in Putin's electric car, India and Russia's diplomatic ties continue to strengthen. But remember, the world is not happy, especially the West.
The Modi-Putin dosti is for the world to see. The Russian president rolled out the red carpet for the Prime Minister as he hosted a private dinner on the outskirts of Moscow. Then, Vladimir Putin took Narendra Modi for a spin in a Russian electric vehicle. The two world leaders also witnessed a special horse show. Modi and Putin have met each other 17 times till now. 6 of these meetings took place over the last decade.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, परम दोस्त, आपका स्वागत है, हार्दिक स्वागत है। आपको देखने से मुझे बड़ी खुशी है।
On Tuesday, the Prime Minister addressed the Indian diaspora in Moscow.
हमारे रिश्तों की दृढ़ता अनेक बार परखी गई है और हर बार हमारी दोस्ती बहुत मजबूत होकर के उभरी है। भारत रूस की इसी दोस्ती के लिए मैं विशेष रूप से मेरे प्रिय मित्र प्रेसिडेंट पुतिन की लीडरशिप की सराहना करूंगा।
Prime Minister Modi's address also had an unmissable geopolitical message.
बीते 10 सालों में मैं 6ठी बार रशिया आया हूं और इन सालों में हम एक दूसरे से 17 बार मिले हैं। ये सारी मीटिंग ट्रस्ट और रिस्पेक्ट को बढ़ाने वाली रही है।
In a big diplomatic win for India, Russia has agreed to discharge all Indians in the Russian army after Prime Minister Modi took up the matter with Vladimir Putin.
Every time any Indian Prime Minister comes to Russia or a Russian leader comes to India, the focus remains on defense, strategy. Here the focus is very majorly shifting to economy. And when you talk about economy, it's investment. It's futuristic investment in each other's countries. It's investment in oil. It's to, for example, railways is one area where India and Russia are cooperating close together. Nuclear energy is one area where two countries are cooperating closely. So this is where delegation level talks will happen now in a more structured manner.
With Gaurav Sawant in Moscow, Bureau Report, India Today.
And Prime Minister Modi with Putin has conveyed a message that he's echoed from what he said before after the Ukraine war, says, not an era of war, that the solution to the conflict cannot be found on the battlefield. The Prime Minister reiterating his advice to President Putin, saying peace is the solution, not war. He says India is on the side of peace, and he relays emphasis on dialogue. No solution with guns and bombs, says Prime Minister Modi in one of the strongest words for peace, for resolution, for diplomacy, for dialogue in the wake of the Ukraine war. And this comes on a day when Zelensky has actually expressed his anger over Prime Minister Modi meeting with President Putin. Listen into what Modi has just said.
कि हमारी भावी पीढ़ी के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए शांति सर्वाधिक आवश्यक है, लेकिन मैं ये भी जानता हूं कि युद्ध के मैदान में समाधान संभव नहीं होते। बम, बंदूक और गोलियों के बीच समाधान और शांति वार्ताएं सफल नहीं होती हैं, और हमने वार्ता के माध्यम से ही शांति के रास्ते अपनाने होंगे।
And India Today's Gaurav Sawant, who's in Moscow, has been bringing us a running live reportage of this entire historic summit, is with me live. Gaurav, not an era of war is what the Prime Minister had said a couple of years ago. That consistent message being amplified and reiterated, making Modi perhaps the only world leader saying this directly to President Putin, saying the solution cannot be with guns and bombs, it has to be on dialogue. A very, very big message being conveyed.
It's a very significant statement made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to President Putin at Kremlin, and shows the personal relations between the two leaders, the fact that they're close enough for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to call a spade a spade. And he heard President Putin very extensively over 4 to 5 hours over dinner last night. That conversation that was meant to last just a couple of hours lasted close to 5 hours, we are told, and that shows the close camaraderie between the two. Prime Minister heard the Russian president and then articulated that solution of war cannot be found in battlefield. He then emphasized, remember, children have been killed, as President Zelensky of Ukraine said, in that missile attack, including cancer patients, children suffering from cancer at that hospital. And Prime Minister did mention that when children are hurt, it hurts humanity. And India has suffered this, and we know this. He went a step ahead. He said India is willing to cooperate in the path of peace. Every possible help that's required, India is willing to extend that should it be required. There's another very significant point, Shiv. Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized on peace paying rich dividends and friendship with Russia paying India rich dividends. When he mentioned Rus is Sukh Dukh Ka Sathi, a friend who stayed firm with India through highs and lows, ups and downs, through thick and thin. He spoke of food, fuel and fertilizer, how supplies of food, fuel and fertilizer from Russia helped the Indian farmer, helped the Indian middle class, helped the Indian society, held them in good stead throughout. And he hoped that this would continue, and this benefits not just India, it benefits the entire global south, the developing countries. And this voice comes from the global south, which wants peace and not war. Shiv.
Gaurav, what next in India-Russia relations, especially since the world has especially been watching this particular Modi-Putin Milan? The NATO summit taking place in Washington, D.C. as we speak, has resulted in a lot of raised eyebrows across the Atlantic as well, putting India in a very, very unique position. India is close to all of those countries, especially the United States as well, and that's one of the reasons we've actually seen a bit of a meltdown in the think tank circuit in the United States as well over what's happening in Moscow.
And it would be the case, Shiv, America, or at least their think tanks, or at least a part of the society, or the West would want to talk down to either India or to any other part of the world. India, on the other hand, is very clear. It's a multipolar world. India will not be dictated to by either the United States of America or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. India has an independent foreign policy that keeps Indian interests first. India's friendship and association with Russia, as you well know, and not just in the field of military hardware, dates back to the decade of the 50s and 60s when nobody was giving India the kind of military firepower. We got the MiG-21s, which held India in good stead. Then all the military modernization through the peace agreement, the peace and stability agreement, strategic agreement between India and Soviet Union in 1971 war held India in good stead. Where was the West that time is a point that Dr. S. Jaishankar has repeatedly made. So India has an independent foreign policy. India's association with Russia predates this Ukraine war, and Ukraine war cannot be, the lens through which India would view Russia. This war has started in 2022. Our relationship goes back, 70 years. That's point one. Point two, who's arming Ukraine? If India is talking peace, and if Russia has a vision for peace, and if the West is arming Ukraine with longer range missiles to strike deeper into Russia, does that bring peace? And that's the point that several Russian analysts posed, in conversations with us here on India Today, when they said India wants peace, Russia wants peace. They in fact even quoted Global Times of China saying that West wants to divide, wants a divide between India and Russia, and they want to take India into the Western bloc. But
Yes.
it's India's independent foreign policy that's actually forcing the West to also be more analytical and clear-headed about the policies it's following in this region.
Gaurav, thanks very much for joining us on that. We'll keep tracking the story. Gaurav in Moscow reporting on all the developments with Modi and Putin as the summit nears its end. The summit meetings and delegation level talks are happening right now. We'll have a full list of the big takeaways later on Prime Time here on India Today. For the moment, Gaurav, thank you very much. We've got some more breaking news coming in from Moscow now. And we can confirm that 6 more nuclear power units have been cleared for India from the Russian State Atomic Energy Agency, Rosatom. That's the Russian state-owned atomic energy agency. Their CEO says his company is in discussion with Delhi to construct 6 high-powered nuclear units as a part of a new project. Remember, India is expanding its dependence on nuclear power because of the huge requirements for electricity in different parts of the country. So nuclear power plants in India will be coming from Russia. In addition, in April 2024, India was provided with information on solutions in the field of floating nuclear power plants as well. So big step for India-Russia on nuclear energy cooperation. The Prime Minister also today addressed the Indian diaspora in Moscow, where he spoke about India's growth. Take a look.
भारत कैसे बदल रहा है? कैसे बदल रहा है? भारत बदल रहा है क्योंकि भारत अपने 140 करोड़ नागरिकों के सामर्थ्य पर भरोसा करता है। विश्व भर में फैले हुए भारतीयों का सामर्थ्य पर भरोसा करता है, गर्व करता है। भारत बदल रहा है क्योंकि 140 करोड़ भारतीय अब भारत को विकसित देश बनाने का सपना संकल्प लेकर के पूरा करना चाहते हैं। इसके लिए आप दिन रात मेहनत करते हो। हिंदुस्तान पूरा मेहनत कर रहा है, हर किसान कर रहा है, हर नौजवान कर रहा है, हर गरीब कर रहा है। आज भारत वो देश है जो चंद्रयान को चंद्रमा पर वहां पहुंचाता है जहां दुनिया का कोई देश नहीं पहुंच सका। आज भारत वो देश है जो डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन का सबसे रिलायबल मॉडल दुनिया को दे रहा है। आज भारत वो देश है जो सोशल सेक्टर की बेहतरीन पॉलिसी से अपने नागरिकों को एम्पावर कर रहा है। आज भारत वो देश है जहां दुनिया का तीसरे सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम है।
Well, Modi and Putin are making waves with their warm embrace in Moscow. Like I said, no previous diplomatic embrace has sent as many shockwaves as yesterday's in Moscow has. It's raised eyebrows, of course, especially from Ukraine's President Zelensky, who has said that this hug has been a huge blow to the peace effort and that he is aggrieved by seeing the world's largest democracy hugging what he calls a war criminal. Take a look. There's more to it than meets the eye.
A hug that sent shockwaves across the world, perhaps nowhere more than in the mind of Ukraine's president, who has publicly decried the Modi-Putin hug as a huge disappointment and a devastating blow to peace efforts to see the leader of the world's largest democracy hug the world's most bloody criminal in Moscow on such a day. Zelensky's attack on the Moscow hug comes 25 days after the Ukrainian president and Modi embraced on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Italy. An additional aggravation that the Modi-Putin Milan takes place on the same day that a NATO summit on the Ukraine war takes place in Washington, with Zelensky in attendance. Two hugs less than a month apart, with two leaders on the opposite ends of the world's biggest current conflict. While the West backs Zelensky in his criticism, India has projected this as the true face of constructive diplomacy. While Zelensky's anger affirms the global view that India must use its leverage with Russia, sources say Modi has conveyed to Putin that the solution to the Ukraine conflict cannot be on the battlefield. Many will say aggravation over this meet is only another validation of India's independent foreign policy, unhindered by the polarities of a troubled world and focused on peace rather than taking sides. Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, like we said, the meltdown across the Atlantic in the West is very, very pronounced this time. The United States has raised concerns with India about its relationship with Russia amidst Moscow's invasion of Ukraine that is now over 2 years old. The US said that India was a strategic partner with whom they engage in a full and frank dialogue, and that included their concerns about India's relationship with Russia. But sources tell India today, quoting the Indian government, that India has always called for respecting the UN Charter, including territorial integrity and sovereignty, and that dialogue and diplomacy is the way forward, echoed in what the Prime Minister personally told the Russian president today, that the solution to war cannot be on the battlefield.
We did just see Modi, like Orban, meet with President Zelensky. We thought that was an important step to take. And we would urge India, as we do any country when it engages with Russia, to make clear that any resolution to the conflict in Ukraine needs to be one that respects the UN Charter, that respects Ukraine's territorial integrity, Ukraine's sovereignty. And, you know, India is a strategic partner with whom we engage in a full and frank dialogue, and that includes on our concerns about the relationship with Russia.